Bitcoin's pumping. We're going to the moon. Just jokes, guys. It's been a great last 24 hours. Bitcoin finally has broken out of the range. So without further ado, let's dive into the charts and see what's going on. Alrighty. So let's quickly go to the weekly chart. We can see that Bitcoin has not yet made a higher high. It has made a higher low. I'm going to dive into that on the daily time frame in a second. So we're still sort of we broke above the downward trend. We've been going sideways for I think just over a month now. So since April 14th. So close to 2 months. But Bitcoin has been really boring, especially over the last couple of weeks, trading in like basically a $500 range. So what I wanted to show you on the weekly scale is something really important. We saw the weekly VWAP basically bounce off the zero line and take a very sharp move to the upside. That is a really good thing, especially on this indicator market cipher B. We've had a bullish divergence, so a higher low on the momentum waves. And that coincided with a lower low in the price action. So that is a bullish divergence. We also got that bullish divergence on the normal RSI. So let me just bring that up. Quite some time ago, we can see basically this price here is lower than this price, but on the RSI chart, it is a higher low, which is fantastic. Now, when we're talking about higher lows, on the price action, that's definitely a good thing. So we can see basically right now, don't worry about these 4 little lines, it's just tracking this sort of sideways range. We can see that basically we had this low back here on the 21st of November. We created a high, and now we're currently printing a higher low, which is a great thing. What we would need is obviously to create a higher high from this point. So we're looking for a pivotal break of price action above 18,375. That would be a good start for Bitcoin, right? On a macro scale, so I'm talking about a weekly scale, what I would prefer is to see a break above 21,000 and change, 21,468. But this is a great start. A lot of indicators have started showing a bottoming out. We've obviously spoken about this being, more than likely a macro bottom, not the bottom. I do still think that we're going to have one more push down, but in the short term, things are kind of looking okay. So right now we're finding resistance at the value area high of this entire sideways range. So the value area is just where the most amount of Bitcoin has been traded during this entire sideways range. So we can see the point of control. Let me zoom in a bit for you guys. The point of control is still at 16,500. So if we get rejected from the value area high, which is this blue line where the price action currently is at, we'll probably retrace back to at least 16,822 because we can see a big volume spike node here. And the point of control, so the most amount of Bitcoin traded in this entire sideways range, is down at 16,550-ish, give or take, plus or minus $100, depending on what exchange you're trading on. So this is definitely a good start. We had this inverse head and shoulders, which hit the target point back up here. We're now creating this. If we go a little bit deeper into the time frames, we can see that we've basically created a bit of a Adam and Eve pattern. Okay, so we've got Adam and then the Eve, which is basically a V bottom followed by a curved bottom, which is a great thing. Another thing that traders tend to like and see is this was a cup and handle pattern. That means the target area, if you're someone that trades patterns. I trade patterns sometimes, but I think there's so many pattern traders out there that these patterns tend to get disproven quite regularly. So basically, when you're measuring the potential price action of where this cup and handle is going to go, you draw a vertical line from the horizontal neck of the cup and handle, which would be basically here. Okay, because we've had a fair few touches here. Okay, you draw a vertical line from the neckline, and we have a target of around 17,550. Now, do we have any confluence with that area? I do believe so. I do believe it is a Fibonacci retracement, as we can see. So Fib retracement, the 618 retracement. So I do think that Bitcoin should break out of this range. Find a bit of a rejection if we don't get rejected here at 17,500, and then it's going to be a big game between the bears and the bulls. Is this once again going to be a lower high from here? Okay, because basically every time we've tried to break out of this bear cycle, we keep continuing to make lower highs. So as an example, previous to this sideways range, we had this sideways range that we had. So we had a high, a low, a higher high, a high low, which is good, which gave us a little bit of bullish action here, but it was still, we ended up creating a lower high to here. Okay, we still had a lower high from this point to this point, another lower high here. We have another lower high here. So if we zoom in and this, we get a rejection here, this once again becomes a lower high, and this becomes bearish. So a lot of on-chain fundamentals show that the big whales are not yet buying, which makes me a little bit concerned that this could possibly be a bit of a fake out. I will go into a couple of other bearish scenarios. So we've talked about the RSI. Now the RSI, what we can, if we're just going off the RSI as an example, right now, if the price does not break 18,375, so we make a low high. Let's just say we go to, let me remove that. Let's just say the price goes to the golden pocket, but the RSI makes a higher high, that we would have a hidden bearish divergence. So we would need a higher high to this point. So this point is around about 83. So let's just say the RSI gets to there, for example. That's a hidden bearish divergence. So we would most likely have a bit of a sell-off. So that's what the RSI is showing me just on the 4-hour. Let's quickly have a look at the daily. All right, so the daily is kind of primed to make that bearish divergence. So from here, we can see we're basically equal at the height. This part of the RSI is the same height as this part, but if we go any higher, though we fail to break that 18,375, we're going to get a rejection to the downside. So that's the only thing that kind of concerns me. On top of that as well, the stochastic RSI is on the overbought territory, right? Which is not a good thing. As you can see, whenever we're above the 80th percentile, the moving averages tend to roll over. They can spend some time quite some time above, but this is quite rare. If we look at the history, especially the last year of Bitcoin, this is probably the only other time, maybe we could say that time as well, where we stayed above for quite some time without sort of coming down. So if we look at what the price action was at that time, let me just go to the 3 days so I can fit everything in. So we can see we spent a fair bit of time here in the overbought territory, and then we obviously had the drop from 18.5 to 16.5. If we look up here, we can see that we spent a bit of time here. This is where we created the bearish divergence on the macro scale, where we broke the previous high of 65,000. Everyone was thinking, yeah, we're going to 100K, myself included, but we ended up finishing. And then the next time we were in the overbought territory was down here, and then we had one last sell-off before we sort of continued the pump to the upside. So I know that the circles here don't represent anything because I changed the time zone. If I go back to daily, you'll see that those circles do represent times where we spent a little bit of time in that overbought territory. All right, so that's my major concern, because on the daily, on the 12-hour, on the 10-hour, on the 8-hour, on the 6-hour, on the 4-hour, we are in this sort of overbought territory. So it makes me think we need to have a bit of a cool off. But at the current present time, Bitcoin is doing Bitcoin things. It's staying intact with this sort of trend line. So basically, you can draw that trend line. It doesn't need to be super perfect. You know, you can even draw one from here to that low right there, for example. So if we do come down, do we get a touch back on the trend line? It's totally possible. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as a trader. I'm definitely looking for a possible break of 17.2. Then the next target is 17.550. And then, like I said, that's going to be the big game of do we then push this further? Do we create a higher high, or is that it? All right, we've got a couple of comments. Let me just quickly check. Love you, bro. Tease me. Okay. No question there. Everyone, BTC is back at 1700. Listen out. Yeah, thank you. I hope we see a bull. Yeah, me too. I do hope we see a bull run. I don't think it's going to be this early in the year. I still have my eye on April 1st. So I'm probably thinking more sort of choppy action till sort of the second quarter of this year, and then we'll see what happens. But there's still no real positive news out of the FOMC meeting. They're having CPI data was released either today or tomorrow. So I'll have to look at what the data shows. If the data is positive, that'll obviously add a bit more fuel to the fire. But on the macro scale, which is what most retail investors should look at when they're not looking at day charts, 4-hour charts, and hourly charts, is a macro change in environment. And right now, the price action is telling us still sit on your hands, don't get back into the market. But we've been telling you for months to dollar cost average anyways, just in case this is the bottom, you would have made some money anyways. Altcoins are pumping. If we quickly have a look at, I mean, it's a green day everywhere. Like everything's doing really well, which is a great thing. So hopefully you guys have been dollar cost averaging. You are making some money because we're still in the bear market technically. I've been still taking some profits out. I've had coins go up and do like a 9-10x in the last sort of few weeks. I'm taking money off the table. I'm not getting greedy. If we go higher, fantastic. I haven't sold completely out of my position. And if we drop back down, the dry powder that I've taken out of the market, I can obviously put back in. So greed is the #1 killer for most humans. I did a little video on it on TikTok. If you want to check me out on TikTok, you can. I'll post my handle on the comments, but basically it's just my name. I'm doing more videos on TikTok, on my personal profile, on the business profile. We're trying to get, educate more people about cryptocurrencies, investing, and so forth. So if you want to see more and more content, we're now on TikTok. We're doing a daily video, so you can go check that out. They're short as well, so that's pretty good. We might even move some of the TA short clips over to TikTok. Alrighty, that is it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching another Bitcoin technical analysis. I hope it was short and sweet. Hopefully it answered some questions. So once again, just to reiterate, if we don't break 17,200, then I will look for support back at 16,800. If that breaks 16,500, but it looks like we've got enough momentum to at least get up to this golden pocket, and then I think things are going to get a little bit shaky and dicey, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, thank you once again for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow for our DC News live update, and once again, stay crypto. Bye for now.